Part 2. Extra Load. The years went by, and with them, the railway evolved. Yards were extended, new stations were being built, and more trains were seen on the main line. More people were beginning to travel by rail too, in favour of the horse and cart. It was simpler and quicker to travel from one end of the island to the other. So many people, in fact, that it wasn't long before passenger trains became crowded. "Did you hear what's happening on the mainland?" Lily asked her brother one morning. "Oh, there's always something happening over there," grunted Liam. He was still in the process of waking up. "I heard that the railways there have begun building new express engines." Ernest was also at the sheds, having a nap before his first train. He overheard the two engines talking, and couldn't help listening in. "They have 4 big driving wheels and 4 smaller trailing wheels," continued Lily, "and it sounds like they're performing well." "Well, they can't be that great if they need 4 wheels to drive themselves," interrupted Ernest. "I only have 1 pair, and I do just fine." "Yes, but more wheels means more power," laughed Liam. "Even I understand that. But if 1 pair is enough, why would you need any more?" "It won't be enough forever, Ernest," Lily said. "The railway isn't getting any quieter, and I have no doubt your express trains will be getting heavier." Ernest sighed and went back to sleep. He was confident in his beliefs. He was more than enough, timeless, as he had heard before. Secretly, though, he was a little nervous. Lily was proven correct. Soon the platforms were overflowing, and the manager knew it would be impossible to fit them all in the coaches. It was decided that rather than schedule new trains, it would be better to just increase the length of the ones they already have. Ernest quickly noticed this change a few days later. There were 2 extra coaches on the express. Ernest thought little of it, and sure enough, when pulling the train, he had no trouble at all. "Nothing to it," he smiled. Then, another few days went by. Ernest steamed into the station. As he passed his train, he realised there was now another pair of coaches added on. "We'll be lucky to get far with that," grunted the driver. "Oh, fear not," chortled Ernest. "If I can handle 2 trains at once, what harm can some extra carriages do?" A little later, Ernest set off after the station. He strained a little, getting used to the extra weight, but he quickly built up speed. On the main line, there was a steep hill just between 2 stations. It was often a struggle for many engines, and they would always have to go slow as they climbed up. In some cases, they would require banking engines to give them a push to the top. Ernest never had any trouble, and could travel over the hill with ease. But today, it was different. Ernest reached the bottom, and began ascending up the gradient. Suddenly, he jolted to a slower pace. The weight of the train was truly felt here, and he was immediately short of breath. He tried to go faster, but his driver held him back. "You do that, and you'll lose your grip," he snapped. "We'll have to stay at this speed or we'll be stuck." To Ernest, that was unacceptable. An express is not supposed to slither along like a snail. But the thought of stopping altogether was even worse. Reluctantly, he obeyed his driver, and they continued slowly but surely up the hill. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Ernest reached the top, and was able to pick up speed and coast down the other side. When they pulled into the station, Ernest was honestly relieved for the rest. He tried to forget what happened, accepting it as a one-time incident. but the passengers certainly didn't forget. That evening, Ernest found the manager waiting for him in the sheds. "I heard you were held up on the hill today," he said grimly. "I was simply adjusting to the extra weight, sir," stammered Ernest. "It won't happen again." "Well, Ernest, I have every reason to believe it will," replied the manager firmly. "I know it isn't your fault, but there is still a demand to add more coaches onto the trains. And if you couldn't handle today's load, then you have reached your limit." Ernest gulped. He knew what the manager was implying. "Please, sir, I can handle heavier trains. I know I can. Please give me a chance." But the manager shook his head. "I'm sorry, Ernest. I will have to make some arrangements." With that, he turned and walked slowly away. Ernest didn't feel so confident anymore. Lily and Liam heard everything. "I'm sorry, Ernest," whispered Lily. Ernest wasn't listening. He was afraid and furious. So many years of good service, and he was to be thrown away just like that. As the night wore on, Ernest had made a decision. If he was to go, he would not go quietly.